The city never slept. Bright lights covered the sky, and flying cars moved like silent shadows above the streets. Humans walked fast, their eyes fixed on screens, their minds full of their own problems. No one looked down. No one saw the small dragon child, sitting near a broken wall. He was very small, smaller than a human child. His wings were folded tight around his thin body. One wing was torn, and the other shook when the cold wind passed. His scales were not shiny like dragon scales should be. They were dull, cracked, and pale blue like old stone. In front of him, on the metal ground, lay a few toys. They were not new. They were not valuable. A small wooden dragon with one missing horn. A cracked glowing cube that no longer shined. 3 metal marbles from an old space game. The dragon child watched every person who passed. He did not speak loudly. He did not beg. In a weak voice, almost a whisper, he said, "Please, 1 credit." Most humans did not hear him. Those who did hear looked away. Some felt fear. Some felt anger. Some felt nothing at all. Dragon. One man muttered as he passed. War beast. Another said under his breath. The child did not understand those words. He only knew they meant pain. A security drone floated closer. Its red eye scanned him. A warning sound beeped. Unauthorized creature detected. The machine said. The dragon child lowered his head. His small claws pulled his toys closer to his chest. He was ready. Ready for shouting. Ready for being kicked. Ready for being chased away. But the drone moved on. The child let out a slow breath. He had learned early that staying quiet helped him survive. Hours passed. The city grew colder. The lights above flickered. Rain began to fall, soft at first, then heavy. Water ran across the metal street and soaked the dragon's thin cloth shirt. He did not move. He could not leave his spot. If he moved, someone else might take his place. If he moved, he might lose his only chance to eat. His stomach hurt. It had been hurting for days. A woman stopped in front of him. The dragon child's eyes lit up for a second. Hope appeared, small but bright. She looked at the toys, then at his wings. Her face changed. "Disgusting," she said softly. She dropped nothing and walked away. The hope disappeared. The dragon picked up the small wooden toy. He rubbed it with his claw, slow and careful. There was a mark on the toy, carved long ago, a symbol of a flame and a star. He did not know what it meant, but it felt warm in his hands. Once, someone had given him this toy. His memory was broken, like the cube on the ground, but pieces remained. A deep voice, large wings around him, a feeling of safety, then fire, noise, screaming. The child shook his head. The memory hurt too much. A group of teenagers walked by and laughed. "Is it selling toys?" one of them said. "Does it even understand money?" Another joked. One of them kicked a metal can toward him. It hit the ground near his tail. The dragon flinched. He did not cry. Crying made things worse. Night came. The crowd became thinner. Shops closed. The air turned colder. The dragon child's eyes grew heavy, but he forced them open. Sleeping on the street was dangerous. Hunters came at night. Bad humans came at night. He counted his toys again. 3 marbles. 1 cube. 1 wooden dragon. That was all he had left in the universe. If he sold the wooden toy, he could buy food, maybe even medicine for his wing. But selling it felt wrong. It was not just a toy. It was proof that someone once loved him. A loud sound echoed nearby. A transport ship landed, shaking the ground. People rushed past him again. Boots splashed water near his feet. Then something different happened. A pair of boots stopped in front of him. Not fast, not angry, just stopped. The dragon child slowly looked up. He saw a human standing there. Tall, wide shoulders, old jacket. The man's face looked tired, but his eyes were calm, not afraid, not angry. The human looked at the toys, then at the torn wing, then at the dragon's face. Their eyes met. The dragon child's body froze. This was the moment. He had seen this moment before. The moment before pain. The moment before being taken away. His claws tightened around the wooden toy. The human did not speak. The city noise faded. The rain continued to fall. And for the first time that night, someone truly saw him. The dragon child did not remember his name. Names were given by family, and he had none. He only remembered fear. That night, after the human stopped in front of him, the child's heart beat fast. Too fast. His body stayed still, but his mind ran back into the past, into memories he did not understand. Long before the cold city, there was fire, not the warm fire of a home, not the soft glow of a hearth. This fire screamed. The memory came in pieces, like broken glass. The child saw the sky turn red. Huge shadows moved above him. Dragons flew, roaring in pain. Human ships filled the air, sharp and loud. Light weapons cut through the clouds like burning knives. The child was smaller then, much smaller. He was inside a large hall made of black stone. The walls were carved with ancient dragon symbols. Flames burned in blue bowls along the floor. This was not a place for humans. This was the dragon sanctuary. A large dragon stood in front of him. Her scales were bright silver. Her wings covered the child like a shield. Her eyes were gentle, full of love and fear at the same time. "Do not cry," the dragon said. "No matter what happens, you must live." The child did not understand. He only pressed his face into her chest. Then the walls shook. A loud explosion broke the hall. Stones fell. Flames went out. A sharp human voice echoed from outside. Tartar confirmed. "Dragon nest found." The silver dragon roared. The sound was full of rage and pain. She turned, spreading her wings wide. Another dragon joined her, larger, dark blue scales. His eyes burned like fire. The child felt himself being lifted. Strong claws held him close. "Protect the air," the blue dragon growled. "Even if we die." The memory broke there. Back in the city, the child gasped for air. His chest hurt. His small body shook. He did not know what an air was. He did not know what a sanctuary was. All he knew was that something very important had been taken from him. The human still stood in front of him, silent. The dragon child lowered his head again. People always changed when they knew the truth, when they knew he was not just a stray creature, but a dragon. Dragons meant war. Dragons meant death. Years ago, dragons and humans had destroyed each other's worlds. Cities burned. Skies fell. Entire planets became dust. The war ended suddenly, but hatred remained. Humans were taught one thing. Dragons could not be trusted. No one taught the dragon child anything. After the fire and noise, there was darkness. He remembered waking up inside a metal box. Cold, tight, his wings hurt. He cried until his throat burned. A human face looked down at him. Not kind, not cruel, empty, just cargo. The man said, "Dragons pay well." The box opened again days later. The child was dropped on the ground like broken goods. A dirty street. Strange lights. Strange smells. "Run if you want," the smuggler said. "No one wants you." And the man left. The dragon child did run. He ran until his legs gave out. He hit under broken machines. He learned which streets were safe, which sounds meant danger. He learned hunger. He learned cold. He learned that humans did not stop for dragons. At first, he tried to ask for help. He spoke in his soft voice. He bowed his head like he remembered his mother doing. Humans shouted. Guards chased him. Someone threw a bottle. After that, he stayed quiet. One day, an old machine worker gave him a piece of bread. The man was shaking, scared, but his hands were kind. That was the last kindness for a long time. The child found the toys in a trash pile. Broken things, thrown away. He cleaned them. He fixed what he could. Selling toys was safer than begging. People pitted toys. They hated dragons. Now, standing in front of the human with the tired eyes, the child expected the same ending. Pain, fear, being chased away. His tail curled around his leg. His claws dug into the ground. If the human reached for him, he would run, even with a torn wing, even if it killed him. The human finally spoke. "You're cold," the man said quietly. The voice was rough, but not sharp. The dragon child looked up, confused. No one had ever said that before. Not go away. Not monster. Not dragon. Just, you're cold. The human took off his jacket slowly. Very slowly. Like he did not want to scare him. He placed it on the ground, not touching the child. The dragon stared at it. Warmth. Real warmth. His body shook harder now. Not from fear. From something dangerous. Hope. Hope was more dangerous than hunger. The city lights reflected in the child's eyes as he looked at the human again. For the first time since the fire, the universe did not feel completely empty. And far away, deep in space, something ancient stirred. A dragon signal, long thought dead, had awakened. The air was alive. The human did not plan to stop. He had already taken 3 steps past the dragon child when something pulled at him. Not a sound, not a touch, a memory. For a moment, the city disappeared. He saw a small hospital room. White lights, silent machines, a tiny bed that was now empty, a child who never made it home. The human's hand clenched into a fist. He hated that memory. He had trained himself to walk faster when it came, to ignore it, to survive. But tonight, he stopped. He slowly turned around. The dragon child was still there, sitting on the cold metal ground. Rain fell around him, but he did not move. His wings were folded tight, like he was trying to disappear. The human had seen war. He had seen broken soldiers, broken cities, broken machines. But he had never seen a broken child like this. The human's name was Ethan. He was an engineer, a builder of ships, a man who fixed things that were already damaged. But some things could not be fixed, or so he believed. Ethan looked at the toys on the ground. Small, broken, useless to the city. Yet the dragon child guarded them like treasure. Ethan understood that kind of guarding. He knelt slowly, keeping his distance. People nearby noticed. "Hey!" someone shouted. "Don't touch it." A security drone turned its red eye toward them. Ethan did not look back. He spoke calmly, not to the crowd, but to the child. "What's your name?" he asked. The dragon child did not answer. He did not know how. Names belonged to a past life. Ethan waited. Silence stretched between them. The rain filled the space. "It's okay," Ethan said. "You don't have to talk." The dragon child watched his mouth move. The sound was strange but gentle. No shouting. No orders. Ethan reached into his pocket. The child flinched. Ethan froze. He slowly pulled out a small food pack and placed it beside the jacket on the ground. He pushed both items closer, then pulled his hand back. The dragon child's nose moved. Food. Real food. His stomach twisted in pain. His body screamed to reach for it, but he did not. Food always came with a price. Chains. Cages. Pain. Ethan noticed the hesitation. "You can take it," he said. "I won't touch you." The dragon child stared at the pack, then at Ethan's face, then back at the pack. Finally, he moved very slowly. He reached out with one claw and pulled the food toward him. He did not eat. He hid it under his wing. Ethan felt something break inside his chest. The crowd grew restless. "Guards are coming," someone said. "That thing is dangerous," another warned. Ethan stood up. He placed himself between the dragon child and the crowd. "Back away," he said. His voice was not loud, but it was firm. The drone floated closer. "Unauthorized biological entity detected," it said. "Prepare for containment." The dragon child felt the word. Containment. His heart slammed against his chest. His body moved before his mind did. He tried to stand. His torn wing failed him. He fell with a sharp cry. The sound cut through Ethan like a blade. "No," Ethan said. "You're not taking him." The drone's red eye flashed. "Step aside, citizen." Ethan did not move. The dragon child crawled back, shaking. His small body glowed faintly blue for half a second. No one noticed. No one except Ethan. He felt the air change, like pressure before a storm. Ethan made a choice. It was not logical. It was not safe, but it felt right. He turned to the dragon child and held out his hand. "I won't hurt you," he said. "I promise." The dragon child stared at the hand. Hands had only brought pain before, but this hand shook slightly, not with anger, with fear, fear of losing him. Slowly, very slowly, the dragon child placed his claw into Ethan's hand. The contact was warm, real. The glow around the child faded. The drone hesitated. Systems recalculated. Ethan pulled the dragon child up gently and wrapped the jacket around him. "Come with me," he whispered, "just for tonight." Sirens sounded in the distance. Ethan did not wait. He lifted the dragon child into his arms. The child froze. He expected pain. It did not come. Instead, he felt something new. Safety. Ethan turned and walked into the crowd, away from the lights, away from the drones. No one stopped him. No one understood what they had just allowed to leave. Above the city, unseen satellites shifted. Deep in hidden systems, an alert activated. Dragon energy signature. Active. Somewhere far beyond the stars, ancient eyes opened. The air was no longer alone, and humanity had just crossed a line that could never be undone. Ethan's home was small. It sat at the edge of the city, where the lights were weaker and the noise felt tired. The building was old, made of metal and stone, with cracks in the walls and wires showing like scars. Ethan did not care. He walked fast through the narrow halls, holding the dragon child close to his chest. The child stayed very still. His eyes were wide, watching every door, every shadow. He had never been carried before. Not like this. Ethan opened his door and stepped inside. The room was warm. A small heater hummed softly. A single lamp lit the space with yellow light. Tools lay on a work table. A photo frame sat turned face down on a shelf. Ethan closed the door and locked it. The sound made the dragon child flinch. "It's okay," Ethan said quickly. "You're safe here." The child did not understand the words, but he felt the tone. Ethan slowly lowered him onto a couch covered with an old blanket. The dragon child sat stiff, ready to run. Ethan took a step back. "I'll get you something warm," he said. He turned away. The dragon child panicked. Humans who turn away never came back. His claws dug into the couch. A soft blue light flickered along his scales. Ethan felt it. He turned instantly. "I'm still here," he said. The glow faded. Ethan went to the kitchen and returned with a cup of warm broth. He placed it on the table, not too close. The dragon child stared at the steam rising from it. Warm food was dangerous. Warm food made you trust. Ethan sat on the floor instead of the couch. The dragon child noticed. Humans usually stood higher, usually stronger. This one sat lower. Slowly, the dragon child reached for the cup. His hand shook so badly that some of the broth spilled. Ethan did not react. No anger. No shouting. The child drank. The warmth spread through his body. His eyes watered. His breathing slowed. For the first time in many days, the pain in his stomach faded. Ethan watched quietly. He noticed the torn wing now, the way the membrane hung loose, scarred and badly healed. "That must hurt," Ethan said softly. The dragon child looked at his wing, then away. Pain was normal. Ethan stood and took out a medical kit. The child jumped. "No," Ethan said quickly. "I won't touch unless you say yes." The dragon child did not know the word yes, but he knew choice. Slowly, he nodded. Ethan moved carefully, like he was working on fragile glass. He cleaned the wing, wrapped it gently, and stopped when the child hissed in pain. "I'm sorry," Ethan whispered. No one had ever said that to him before. When it was done, Ethan stepped back. "Sleep," he said. "You can sleep here." The dragon child shook his head. Sleeping meant dying. Sleeping meant being taken. Ethan thought for a moment. He took a blanket and lay on the floor a few feet away. "I'll sleep here," he said. "I won't leave." The dragon child watched him lie down. Humans did not do that. Minutes passed. Then something strange happened. The dragon child's body relaxed. His eyes closed, just a little. His tail loosened. For the first time since the fire, he slept, not deeply, not safely, but enough. In his sleep, he dreamed. not of war, not of fire. He dreamed of flying above clouds, with strong wings and a warm presence beside him, a human presence. Ethan watched him sleep. He noticed a faint symbol glowing on the wooden toy beside the child, a flame and a star. Ethan's heart skipped. He had seen that symbol before, long ago, on classified files, on forbidden reports, on the sign of a dragon bloodline thought extinct. Ethan felt fear, real fear. He was not just hiding a dragon child. He was hiding something the universe had been hunting. Outside, a black vehicle stopped silently near the building. Inside it, screens lit up. Signal confirmed. A voice said, "Dragon energy stabilized. Send recovery team." Another voice replied, "The human is irrelevant." High above the city, satellites adjusted their focus. And inside a small, quiet room, a dragon child slept in safety. For now, the knock came at night. Not loud, not polite. 3 slow hits against the metal door. Ethan woke up instantly. Years of war had trained his body better than his mind. He was on his feet before he fully understood where he was. His eyes went to the couch. The dragon child was awake, not crying, not moving, watching the door. His pupils were thin like sharp lines. A soft blue glow moved under his scales, slow and dangerous. Ethan raised one finger to his lips. "Stay," he whispered. The knocking came again, stronger this time. "Open the door," a voice said. "City security." Ethan's heart dropped. Security never came at night. He walked to the door, but did not open it. "What do you want?" he asked. A pause. "Routine scan," the voice replied. Ethan laughed once, dry and humorless. "At 2 in the morning?" Silence. Then another voice spoke, colder and calm. "Ethan Cross, former military engineer, discharged after the Dragon War." Ethan closed his eyes. They knew him. "You are sheltering an unauthorized biological entity," the voice continued. "Open the door." The dragon child felt the words like a blade. Sheltering. Unauthorized. His body moved on its own. He slid off the couch and stood behind Ethan, pressing his small body into the man's back. Ethan felt the heat. "Behind me," Ethan said quietly. He opened the door a few inches. 3 figures stood outside. Black armor. No city symbols. No names. Hunters. Their helmets glowed red. "Step aside," one of them said. "Hand over the dragon." Ethan did not move. "He's a child," Ethan said. "He's a weapon," the hunter replied. The dragon child's glow brightened. The walls vibrated. Ethan felt it and spoke fast. "No," he whispered. "Not yet." One hunter lifted a scanner. The machine beeped loudly. "High-value signature confirmed," the hunter said. "Alive and stable." Another hunter raised a weapon. Ethan's hand moved. He slammed the door shut and locked it. "Run," he shouted. The dragon child did not understand where to run. There was nowhere to go. The door exploded inward. Metal screamed. Smoke filled the room. Ethan grabbed the dragon child and shielded him as they fell to the floor. Debris cut Ethan's arm, but he did not let go. Red lights filled the room. "Secure the target," a voice ordered. The dragon child screamed, not in fear, in rage. The sound was not loud. It was deep. The air bent. Glass shattered. The hunters froze. "What the?" one of them said. The dragon child stepped forward. His small body lifted off the ground. His torn wing flared with blue fire. His eyes glowed like stars. "I won't go," he said. The words were not learned. They were remembered. One hunter fired. The blast hit an invisible wall. The dragon child did not know how he did it. He only knew Ethan was behind him. And no one heard Ethan. The room shook violently. Power surged through the building. Lights burst. Alarm screamed. Outside, people ran. Above, satellites locked on. Ethan stared in shock. The child, he thought was fragile, stood like a shield. "Stop," Ethan said softly. The dragon child turned to him. His eyes were full of confusion. "I don't want to hurt them," he said. Ethan stepped forward and placed a hand on the child's shoulder. "I know," he said. "You're safe. I'm here." The glow dimmed. The hunters recovered. Enough, the leader said. Use containment. A net of energy shot forward. Ethan pushed the child aside. The net wrapped around Ethan instead. He screamed as electricity tore through him. No! The dragon child cried. The room went silent. The child's heart broke. Something ancient woke up. The symbol on the wooden toy burned bright. The dragon child roared. This time, the sound was heard across the city. Buildings cracked. The hunters were thrown back like dust. The energy net melted. Ethan collapsed to the floor. The dragon child caught him. For the first time, the child held the human. Sirens wailed outside. Ships moved in the sky. The hunter leader backed away. This changes everything, he whispered. The heir has chosen. The dragon child looked down at Ethan. Blood ran from the man's mouth. Don't leave, the child said. Ethan smiled weakly. Looks like, he said, coughing, you're stuck with me. The dragon child hugged him tightly. Outside, the city burned with alarms. And far away, beyond human space, ancient dragons heard the call. The heir was no longer hiding. And humanity had just made an enemy, or a family. The world did not stop after the roar. It broke. Sirens screamed across the city. Red lights filled the sky. Heavy ships moved above the buildings, slow and threatening, like metal beasts hunting prey. Inside the ruined room, silence followed the storm. Ethan lay on the floor, barely breathing. The dragon child knelt beside him, shaking. His small hands were covered in blood that was not his own. He pressed them against Ethan's chest, trying to stop the pain. Stay, the child whispered. Please stay. Ethan did not answer. The dragon child felt something new. Fear. Not fear for himself. Fear of being alone again. Footsteps echoed in the hallway. More hunters. More weapons. The dragon child lifted his head. His eyes burned bright gold now, not blue. This was different. This was not rage. This was a decision. He stood up slowly and placed himself between Ethan and the broken door. I won't move, he said. His voice was calm. Deadly calm. The hunters entered carefully. They had lost their confidence. Their weapons stayed raised, but their hands shook. That's the heir, one whispered. He's just a child, another said, uncertain. The dragon child spread his wings. They were no longer torn. Blue light repaired them, piece by piece. Scales hardened. The air grew heavy, like gravity had changed. No more cages, the child said. No more running. One hunter lowered his weapon. The leader did not. You belong to the Dragon Council, the leader said. You are not free. The dragon child looked down at Ethan. Ethan coughed weakly. His eyes opened just enough to see the child standing tall. Hey, Ethan whispered. Guess you grew up fast. The child smiled sadly. I had to, he said. Outside, a massive shadow covered the building. A ship descended silently. Not human, dragon metal, ancient and alive. The walls shook as it landed. Every hunter froze. A deep voice echoed through the air, not from speakers, but from the sky itself. Step away from the air. The dragon child felt it in his bones. He knew that voice, even without memory. The hunters backed away. The leader swallowed hard. Dragon Prime, he said. A beam of light cut through the roof. A massive dragon form appeared in the air, made of light and fire. Golden scales. Eyes like stars. The child is under my protection, Dragon Prime said. Ethan tried to sit up. The dragon child rushed back to him. Don't move, the child said. Dragon Prime looked at Ethan. A human, the ancient dragon said. Why do you protect what you do not own? Ethan laughed weakly. I don't own him, he said. I just didn't walk away. Silence followed. Then something unbelievable happened. Dragon Prime bowed, not to the child, to the human. Then you have chosen, Dragon Prime said, and so has the heir. The dragon child placed his hand on Ethan's chest. Warm light flowed from him into Ethan's body. Wounds closed. Breathing steadied. Ethan gasped and sat up. Well, he said, blinking, that's new. The hunters stared in fear. You will leave, Dragon Prime said to them, "and you will tell your leaders this truth." The dragon's eyes burned brighter. Humans are no longer enemies by default. The hunters fled. The ships pulled back. The city grew quiet. The dragon child leaned against Ethan. "I was scared," he admitted. Ethan wrapped an arm around him. "I know," he said. "You did great." Dragon Prime stepped closer. "The heir must return to the dragon worlds," he said. "His destiny is waiting." The child looked at Ethan. His hands shook. "I don't want to go," he said softly. Dragon Prime paused. "This human changed you," the dragon said. Ethan stood slowly. "You can take him," he said, "but not by force." The dragon child took Ethan's hand. "I choose both," he said. The universe held its breath. Dragon Prime smiled. "Then history will change," he said, "because an heir who chooses love will rule differently." The ship's light opened wider. A path forward appeared. Not escape. A future. Ethan squeezed the child's hand. "Wherever you go," he said, "I'm with you." The dragon child looked up at the sky. For the first time, he was not afraid. He was not alone. And the war that once destroyed worlds was finally ending. The dragon ship did not leave Earth. It waited, hovering above the city like a promise and a warning at the same time. Ethan and the dragon child stood together on the roof of the broken building. The night air was quiet now. Sirens were gone. Hunters were gone. Fear was still there, but weaker. The child looked up at the ship. "This is where I am from," he said. Ethan nodded. "And this," he replied, touching the ground, "is where you are now." The child held the small wooden toy in his hand. The flame and star symbol glowed softly, alive. "I was alone," the child said, "but you stayed." Ethan smiled. "I'm not great at walking away," he said. "Never have been." Dragon Prime descended slowly, his massive form glowing against the dark sky. When he landed, the entire building trembled. "You must come," Dragon Prime said. "The dragon worlds need you." The child's wings shifted uneasily. "They need what I am," the child said, "not who I am." Dragon Prime did not argue. "That is why we waited," he replied. Across the city, people watched. News drones hovered. Screens lit up. Humans saw the dragon child standing beside a human man, not as a prisoner, not as a weapon, as family. The dragon child turned to Ethan. "I don't know what I will become," he said. Ethan knelt and met his eyes. "Neither did I," he said. "That never stopped me from trying." The child laughed softly. It was the first real laugh of his life. Dragon Prime raised his head. "Then let all worlds hear this," he said. The sky changed. Stars brightened. A signal spread across space, into dragon systems, human networks, and places long silent. The dragon child stepped forward. He was small, but his voice carried. "I was abandoned," he said. "I was hunted. I was afraid." Images filled the sky, his life on the streets, selling toys, hiding from fear. "I survived because one human chose kindness," the child continued. "Not because he was strong, but because he cared." Ethan felt his throat tighten. The child spread his wings. "I will return to the dragon worlds," he said, "but I will not leave humanity behind." The Dragon Council appeared as glowing figures in the sky. "This is not tradition," one said. "It is evolution," Dragon Prime replied. The child turned back to Ethan. "I will come back," he said. Ethan nodded. "I'll keep the door open," he said, "and the heater on." The child hugged him tightly. Not as a dragon, not as an heir, as a son. Light surrounded the child as he stepped toward the ship. He paused, turned. "Thank you, Father," he said. Ethan froze, then smiled through tears. "Go change the universe," he replied. The ship rose into the sky. But something strange happened. It split, one path into deep space. Another stayed. Dragon Prime looked down. "The heir will walk both worlds," he announced. "As dragon and as human." Years passed. Wars did not return. Borders softened. Dragons visited human worlds. Humans were welcomed into dragon skies. History books would say treaties save a galaxy. But the truth was simpler. It started with a child selling toys in the rain, and a man who did not walk away. On a quiet street, in a small home, a wooden dragon toy sat on a shelf, glowing, waiting, because heroes are not born in fire. Sometimes they are found in the cold,